Oh. All right, hopefully we are live.
We're live?
Yes.
What is this live that you speak of, sir?
I don't know.
Does it mean like we're not dead?
Yes, exactly. Okay, we closed that one. Oh, wrong mouse. Wrong computer.
Oh, how goes it, yo?
I'm alive.
So I started rereading an old classic yesterday.
What old classic would that be?
You ever read this?
I, I may have. I believe I have, but I'm gonna be totally honest with you. I'm not 100% sure. My brain is a little bit wonky today.
It's good stuff. It's the classic. Not really reluctant hero, but the classic, young boy pulled from obscurity becomes the master magician.
Dun dun dun.
But he was not actually a farmer,
Oh.
though he did work in the kitchens.
Oh.
Actually, yeah, the first scene of him is actually collecting like food from the ocean to bring to back to the bakery. So it's still kind of that same theme.
So it's kind of more. Well, no, he was still on the farm. He was the assistant pig keeper, Tauren from the Black Cauldron.
I never read Black Cauldron.
Well, it's the Black Cauldron's actually the second book. The first book is I can't remember what it is now. But it was a great. Oh, it's the Chronicles of Prydain. Duh. Jesus, Charlie, why are you trying to make it hard on yourself?
Because it's what we do.
Apparently so. I do want to point out before we start because this in a really funny twist. I lost my I've lost my basketball jersey, and I play basketball in a league on Wednesday nights. And I couldn't find my jersey anywhere, so I just grabbed a random blue shirt and a random like white-ish shirt. And the blue shirt I grabbed was my my Indie Cluster T-shirt. And so I was repping some Indie Cluster, baby, because I had to put the blue shirt on.
Nice.
Yeah. So I gave I told Ron Jones, the leader of Indie Cluster, and he got a good giggle out of it. I just wish I remembered to take a picture before I took that heavily sweaty shirt off. We won in quadruple overtime, by the way.
Congratulations, sir.
Apparently, in the league that I play in, quadruple overtime means sudden death. And by sudden death, I mean the first point. If someone fouls a player and they make a free throw, the game is over. And that's exactly what happened.
Huh. That's interesting.
Well, both team captains like, seriously, we'll just flip a coin. At this point, we just want this game to end. And like, no, you got to play it. So my team captain got the ball, and he went for a layup, and the other team captain basically just like, all right, fine, I'm fouling you. Now make your damn free throws. Let's go home.
Nice.
Yeah. So it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. I know that a friend of the show, Ren Blades, reached out to me and wanted to know if I was going to DreamHack, and the answer is sadly no. I am not going to DreamHack. I might try to do DreamHack next year, but I am going to start truly doing conventions starting in January at Chattacon.
Nice.
Yep, just gotta figure out all that I'm doing at Chattacon. That's the next step.
Gotcha. Well, just as a heads up, I don't know if I'll be the man to booth a table. Did I say that correctly?
Booth a man a table.
Man, a table. There we go. But if you need help at the panels, I would be happy to do those still.
All right. Well, like I said, I don't even. I'm gonna be totally honest. Like I jumped in really late.
Well, I know for Chatacon, we'll be actually, I think, at a robotics tournament that week, and I already looked at those dates.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like literally. I don't know. What will end up happening. So I might just be an attendee, and I might just bring my camera equipment.
Oh, nice.
And get some interviews done. However, I am becoming more and more aware that I will need to figure out some kind of arrangement where I have a second in command. I think I might stop doing tables, to be honest with you, so I can move around more. But I still need like a backup person with me
Is
to do
that something?
panels and also to help with like the camera stuff and whatnot.
What about is that something what's his name would ever do? Andrew? Because I mean he's already into doing video stuff.
I would have to pay him oodles and oodles of moolah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, his AV skills are a million miles above mine. Not gonna lie. I
mean, that is kind of what he's doing for a living because he works for the TV company now.
Exactly. Yeah, is it Channel 5 in Columbia, South Carolina? Miss Goosey, I burped.
Burp? How dare you, sir?
I'm so sorry. Yeah, so. Oh Lord.
I was looking at Trans-Siberian Orchestra tickets, and bloody hell, they're like twice as expensive as when I went a couple of years ago.
Yeah, man. Well, because everyone's coming back now. All these acts are trying to make up for lost time, so all the tickets are going to be more expensive. And do you have to go through Ticketmaster?
Well, yeah, that doesn't help.
They're also putting a hell of a premium.
Let me rephrase that. The $105 is just the list price. I haven't even clicked to get all the shove it up your ass charges. So it's probably, I'm guessing, closer to $150 a ticket would be my guess after you deal with all that extra crap.
Would not surprise me.
Yeah, that's where it gets to be bullshit.
Agreed.
Yeah. Now I was watching one of the streamers I follow. He's a roadie.
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about how one of the biggest issues is, and this is, probably ticket price.
Alexa, volume 1.
What?
I'm turning it down.
Oh, is the price of transportation?
Well, that's the way to do it, Josh.
Right now.
Josh says, saw them several years ago, and they were incredible. I actually won my tickets.
I saw them about 5 years ago up in the one in Gwinnett, and they were phenomenal.
Yeah.
The closing one was, of course, Christmas over Sarajevo, and they had the guitarist and the violinist chick, and they're on this platform. They like went up, and it was like dueling string instruments. It was really freaking awesome.
The way it's meant to be done.
It was epic. But what you're saying is like what used to be probably like, if he was saying a 28-day tour would have been about $40,000 to do the bus, and before pandemic probably would have been about $5,000.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest issues around, like bands are canceling tours because they literally can't get buses.
Yep.
Or if they do, like, it's one thing if you're playing at, where they playing Gas South Arena is a little bit different than if you're playing at, 100-person venue as far as recouping those costs.
Is Eddie's Attic still around? Because that'd be more.
I went. Yeah. Wait. When did I go to Eddie's attic? It had to have been pre-pandemic. I
Yeah.
can't
Oh
imagine.
God, yes, yes.
Yeah. Um, I remember we saw it was a bluegrass band. Really fun. But I remember I was like, wow, this is a giant death trap. Like if there's a fire, you all dead. Like there was no getting out.
Hmm. All right, ladies and
Um,
gentlemen, we have
early
now
fun
reached
venue.
the 8 o'clock hour. So let's get this party started, shall we?
Oh shit! It is that time, is it, sir? Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna record. Mute Zelius just for a second. Don't worry,
Mm-hmm.
his dulcet tones will be back.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Alter Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Stay night.
Ladies and gentlemen, of course, I am your host, Charlie, and I'm joined once again by the prolific comer himself, Zelius.
It is good to see you here on this fabulous Thursday where we do the podcast stuff, where we talk about the things with the people.
Yes, yes, of course. Ladies and gentlemen, this, of course, is the Thursday Night Hangout. This is a live show where we try our best to cover the topics most important to you. If you have not submitted a topic, or if you want to add in on a topic that we're discussing, or perhaps all of a sudden light bulb goes off and you're like, oh my God, we need to talk about this, just drop it in the chat. We'll add it to the show. If we do, unfortunately, run out of time, we will add it to the very next show. So,
I have a light bulb.
Light bulb.
You know what we're missing?
What's that?
An Alta Confusion fedora.
Ultra Confusion Fedora. I will look into that, Zelius. I don't know if that's possible, but I will look into the fedora just for Zelius, okay?
Oh man, that would be the end of my sanity.
So anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into some of the news. Now, I think the biggest topic that's been going around as of late is this weird situation that's happening with Bethesda, id Software, Doom, and the Doom OST, which is the original soundtrack, and the composer behind it. Man, I have not seen. I mean, these guys are going at each other. Bethesda released a statement, I believe it was yesterday, saying the recent post by Mick Gordon, who is the musical artist, both mischaracterized and misrepresented the team at id Software. The development of Doom Eternal, Marty Stratton, and Chad Mossholder with a one-sided and unjust account of an irreparable professional relationship. We are aware of all the details and history in this matter and unequivocally support Marty, Chad, and the team at id Software. We reject the distortion of the truth and selective presentation of incomplete facts. We stand ready with full and complete documented evidence to disclose in an appropriate venue as needed. The statements posted online have incited harassment and threats of violence against Marty, Chad, and the id Software team. Any threats or harassment directed towards members of our teams will be met with swift and appropriate action to protect their health and safety. We remain incredibly proud of id's previous collaborations with Mick Gordon and ask that fans refrain from reaching conclusions based on his account and, more importantly, from attacking any of the individuals mentioned on either side, including Marty, Chad, or Mick. Okay, so
What?
I am going to give you a little bit of the story. So Mick Gordon is, like I said, is the maestro behind the Doom soundtrack. This past E3, id Software made a surprise announcement that they were going to release. If you get the collector's edition, you're not only going to get the game, but you're also going to get the OST. At the time, there was no such thing as the OST. Now, I want to be very, very clear about something. I don't care how big a company you are or how small a company you are. If you are getting a third party to come in and contract work with you, you make sure that that contract is ironclad and that even if, and I want to make this abundantly clear, even if you end up not using the stuff that you contracted that person for, you still have to pay them. See, here's the problem. Um, another fun fact. See, as once upon a time I was in game development, I can give you a little bit more insight. Um, this composer, Mick, was told to create music for levels that weren't actually made yet. I can honestly tell you that it is hard to make something to kind of, you know, increase or make the the experience more immersive if you don't know what the hell is supposed to be happening. It'd be like trying to get voice actors to act out a scene without the script. Well, we have a deadline. We got to do this. If
That's actually how Hans Zimmer kind of does his stuff. He doesn't even know like the full story of the movies.
so not only first of all he was this guy Mick was under contract to make the music for the game. He was not under contract for the OST, which is a separate piece. Yes,
Yep.
it shared the name. However, it's a separate project. And what ended up happening was that uh, what was supposed to be an entire Mick Gordon uh, original soundtrack turned out to be like 11 of like the 50, I think, songs on there were Mick. And then there was a lead audio engineer who created the rest of them. Now, it is never, ever, ever, ever appropriate to try to threaten physical violence towards another individual or try to go after a company for something that one or two individuals are guilty of. You can't. I understand that, you know, you want to. A lot of people are lumping all of id Software in this thing, but it really comes down to the individuals who are part of creating this contract and not paying or changing shit to unreasonable stuff. But if you set deadlines with a third party vendor, and then you start pushing up those deadlines. By the way, Doom Eternal had crazy ass crunch on the development side. Um, their contract does not. They are not a full time employee. You can't try to squeeze them for everything unless it's in the contract.
Isn't
So,
that a boss's job, though?
hmm?
Isn't that a boss's job to squeeze every last ounce of joy out of their life in order to get the product out just in time?
Unfortunately, that is the bad stereotype, and really gets reinforced a lot in the video game industry. Is that yes, the boss's job is to squeeze, burn them and turn them. That's really what it comes down to. But when you're dealing with a contract worker, you can't really burn them and turn them. But anyways, so this is not going to go away anytime soon. Mick has already come out and he's put a much more detailed account of what all went on. He, if you go to our Discord, I've posted a link to his entire response. I do find it interesting that it looks like Bethesda doesn't want to get involved, go through the legal stuff, but at the same time, they're like, we'll disclose it in the appropriate venue if possible. So this is going to court. Let's just be honest. This is going to go to court, and we'll see. Okay.
Nice.
I mean, okay. Here's something that once again, as having been a developer before, and this is something that I learned from Full Sail University. This was something that we were taught, was that when you get someone outside of your group to create models, music, level layouts, the graphic design, the look of the letters and all that stuff, you have to be very, very specific. And if you're not, you still have to pay for whatever they give you. Josh says, luckily, I think crunch is being addressed by the majority of the industry. And as for the composer, the details of the contract holds the answer. Either id had the upper hand or didn't. Simple as that. And I believe that I believe if you were to read the contract, I believe the composer has the upper hand. However, id is trying to add its own spin or interpretation on the contract. So I bet we'll see. This story is definitely not going to go anyway anytime soon.
See, this is why I just don't read. It just makes my life a lot simpler. I prefer ignorant bliss.
Believe me, unfortunately, that was the approach I took with politics for a long, long time, and then crazy shit happened, and now I actually have to freaking pay attention.
I just follow, pay attention, and do what Twitter tells me to do.
Yeah, that sounds like a great idea, especially after Elon Musk bought it. Okay.
Exactly.
Let's go from one, crazy ass story. That's why lawyers exist. True. Let's go from one crazy ass story to another crazy ass story. Ladies and gentlemen, this game was announced back in 2019, but this thing is truly actually happening. And it's a game called I Am Jesus Christ. And you are going to be, this is a first-person game where you will be playing the part of the Christian prophet, son of God, whatever you want to say. You'll be playing him, and you will be going from nativity to crucifixion. You will be experiencing all of Jesus' life. To me, this seems like an attempt at a quick shock sale. I'm sorry, but one, you're not going to please all the Christians. Two, this even if you find some way to appease all the Christians, it better be the most spot perfect game. But then again, at the same time, you have those people who will point out that the Bible is very contradictory, and a lot of stuff that Jesus does and is, actually, roll that back. Fun fact, the story of Jesus, there's a big ass gap in it for those of you. Water into wine, I'm in. Exactly, Sam Grizzle. He's born, and then all of a sudden he's an adult. So are we getting to play, I want to see the horrors of Babylon? Who knows? Are we going to get to see his awkward, teen years?
His teenage years?
Yeah. What
angsty Jesus?
Are we going to, and where's the source material for that? Is it going to be one of the Gospels that's been hidden away or rejected by whatever denomination of Christianity you are?
I'm going to assume I'm going out on a limb here without knowing anything about the game. It's basically probably going to follow the Gospels, basically. And just, you're basically going to go probably straight into his, life of ministry would be my assumption.
So you're gonna do like high five the thanks for the frankincense and myrrh and gold, and then flash forward to his ministry.
I guess.
The scenes.
Like, is there a way to stop, Judas from betraying you?
I know.
Or can you fight your way out of the crucifixion? You're going to tell Peter to actually pick up that sword and fight for your life.
There is, hold on.
I don't know. You never know. You think
the game is designed to be replayable with different choices leading to different outcomes. Oh, Christ.
Oh.
No pun intended. Or maybe pun intended. I don't know.
Which is funny, because if you think about it, if you're playing, let's just say the true to the Gospels, we'll just assume they're true for the sake of the argument. It's not really a choose your own adventure. Yeah. It's kind of there's one storyline. So I'm kind of curious to see what, it doesn't matter which of the four Gospels you decide to choose today. They all result in crucifixion and burial. So how do you have a different ending? It would be interesting, I guess.
Yeah. Like, this time I'm not going to have him as one of my apostles.
There you go. You can
This
choose your.
time I'm going to make one of the fish that I magically created as my second in command. Like, this seems, like I said, I think that this is going to, unfortunately, I mean, this might be a phenomenal game. I mean, these developers might truly have their heart and souls into it, but I think there's like a 95% chance that this game will be turned into like infinite memes and people trying to do the dumbest shit possible to just wreck it.
Let's
Sam
see.
Grizzle says
Apparently,
your character never dies.
you get to follow his path. You can perform over 30 miracles. Apparently, you have a Holy Spirit power where you can perform miracles.
What happens if you lose the Holy Spirit? What if you go chaotic evil? Jesus goes goth.
Oh, you do get to experience his crucifixion and death.
With force feedback. That's going to go over real well.
Yeah,
there's
like
driving the nails through your hand.
I don't know if it's like a mana bar or a health bar or what it is of like some kind of meter in the game that I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Which is funny because if you want to go all like, biblical, technically he's God, so therefore he has infinite power, so there is no need for a meter.
True. Well, I mean, you can have a meter, just never, depletes.
Depleted. Yeah, it never gets depleted. Like it's always full, I guess would be a way of looking at it.
But it changes colors.
Ooh.
It starts off as a clear watery and then turns to a nice rosé.
You get to interact with 60 characters.
I know this is so bad, and I apologize, big guy upstairs, but what kind of interactions are we talking about?
Oh dear gosh. Well, it depends which heretical sect are you part of, and that he had relations with Mary Magdalene.
Or maybe he was a free-loving guy who had relations with a lot of everyone.
I mean, there are sects that do believe that Jesus did do those type of things, that he wasn't just, yeah. So are they going to follow the traditional Christian, or actually which denomination are they following? Because depending if you're
Methodist,
Catholic
Baptist.
versus, there are different denominations, you have different interpretations of what happened.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this one, this is just trouble. I mean, this just trouble.
Well, I think even like any of the games that have like religion, like they'll go as far as like probably the best example is Smite.
Yeah.
Where they take the ancient, Roman pantheons, but you don't really see games or movies or TV shows really touch, modern religion too much. Because it just ends up creating usually not positive controversy.
Yes.
The old saying, any news is good news. Usually not when it comes to religion. Is when it concerns your work of fiction. Yeah. So that'd be curious. I don't think it has worked for some shows. Warrior Nun's pretty popular. I don't hear too many controversies over that. Or you have the whole Brown series, which I find kind of terrible, but that's okay.
Wait, the what series?
I can't remember his first name. Brown with Tom Hanks.
Oh, the Dan Brown stuff.
Angels and Demons and
Da Vinci Code
and all that stuff. Yeah.
No, when you said Brown, I immediately thought of the actor who plays the father of the Weasleys and
I can see that.
Harry Potter. He is actually there's a BBC TV series, and it's called Father Brown, and he is like a crime-solving priest.
I did not know that.
It's pretty good. I mean, it's stupid and it's campy, but it's good. But yeah, I mean,
but it's curious because I don't see is there a cost to this game? Because there's no like way to pre-order or anything.
Right. Hell, it might just be vaporware. I mean, it might just be trying to drum up. What'd be excellent is once they get enough people either rallying against it or for it, they're like, look, we understand that it was a very touchy topic, and we decided to utilize what we've gained through that game to create this game. Since we got all your eyes on us, how about this game that has nothing to do with religion, but look how pretty and polished it is. A little switcheroo.
So apparently, this publisher has put out other games though, so it's not like
Is it
their
other
first
religious games though?
From what I'm seeing, I'm just quickly looking now. It's like Party Maker and Mythbusters and Builder Simulators.
So nothing as deep as this one.
No.
You have to do a strength check to see if you can roll the rock away from your tomb.
If not, are you not resurrected? You're just a normal pleb like the rest of us?
Hello? Hello? I'm still in here. Okay, anyways, moving on.
Like, are you going to experience the rapture? Is Revelation going to happen?
Ooh. Hare Krishna. Shave head and pass out brochures at the airport. That's what you evolve into somebody else. You come back. That would be interesting. And then burn the earth to the ground. Okay. So let's move off of I Am Jesus Christ, the first person game. And let's talk about a weird twisted thing that let's see, when did this actually come out? So maybe last week or 2 weeks ago, the creator of the Oculus Rift, for some really crazy reason, has decided he's got way too much free time. Probably because he's got a shit ton of money because he sold the Oculus Rift to Meta, or I guess at the time Facebook. And so he created a VR headset that will actually kill you in real life. He took inspiration from Sword Art Online.
Oh, dear. That seems like a terrible idea.
Seems like
okay, I have a really
wouldn't have any
idea.
Repeat business.
I have a really morbid idea.
What's that?
So somebody's on death row, right? Like, this is something that probably come out of like Judge Dredd, right?
Yep.
It's futuristic. You know, people are on death. Actually, there's another game actually based around this idea where like you basically have the criminals who would fight in these games and like they actually like affected their real life.
Gamer with Gerard Butler or Jared, whatever.
Yeah, there you go.
Whatever the pronunciation is. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take like this concept and basically turn it into like the gamer/death race, and now it's like entertainment for the masses, where we could put this on the death row criminals, and gives them a chance to win their freedom if they do well enough. And throwing a little Hunger Games where you can get like a little bit of favor from like sponsors to give like your people power ups of like so they can shoot fireballs and stuff. I don't know. So I think we get like all these different like post-apocalyptic, futuristic type of genres together for our games for entertainment, right? I mean, it sounds logical. We're already on that path with this VR system. Might as well put it to practical use. Yeah. So is this how like I've realized? Is this how like politicians and sports people like you get like quotes taken out of context, where it's like that's not what I actually said at all. Whereas here I'm being like, death row inmates should play games to the death for entertainment of people.
Yeah, no, the thing is, oh my God. Okay, so it's not him going, it would be cool. It's he actually did this. He claims he has made a headset capable of killing its user via 3 explosive charges that could be triggered if the player dies in virtual reality.
How do you prototype this? Like, do you actually prototype it like on a mouse? Like
That's
everything else?
And what's the fail safe? Like, if let's say someone hacks the code and sets off those explosives, and it's like the terrible next step at swatting.
Yeah. No, I think I'll pass.
Yeah, I'm good. I really it. He says he believes the ultimate realism in VR can only come from having such extreme stakes. Well, no shit, Sherlock. But I'm going to be totally honest with you. If there is a game to be played in which I might actually truly die, I'm going to find another game to play. Not gonna lie.
I guess it's like free climbing, right? Like
Yeah.
once in free climbing, you're gonna die. So maybe some people have that crazy need for the veteran or that they get from living on the edge and not dying, basically. So maybe that's what this is tailored for. Is
The
you know
what do you call them?
sports like
The
cycling.
extreme junkies.
Yeah, extreme junkies.
Yeah. No. God, Jesus, no. God. There's so many. No, I don't. No, that's not me. It's not for me. Look,
You sure?
look just to take it one slight step back. Dot hack. The storyline is that people would fall into a mysterious coma where basically their spirits or their minds would be trapped in the game, but their body would be comatose.
Mm.
That's scary enough. But to ramp it up to the next level, go, yeah, by the way, built into your VR headset is 3 explosive charges that if you die inside the game will blow your brain open. It just doesn't. Yes, I'm sure there's people out there like, yeah, let's do it. Spawn point, heaven. Well, I guess that's one way to not have camping.
Spawn camping.
Yeah,
Oh,
man.
you died in your spawn. Too bad. You just gotta play the Jesus game, and you have enough prayer to move the boulder out of the way to resurrect your character.
Use the Holy Spirit power. Oh, Lord. Anyways. I mean, cool. Scary as hell. I will watch.
You should put that towards like actually building us the Oasis with an actual non-lethal heptic suit.
Yes. God, yes. I'm still, ladies and gentlemen, I hopefully the vast majority of the audience understands when we keep saying the Oasis. The Oasis is a fictitious operating system that was that's basically a center point in an amazing novel called Ready Player One. There's also a movie. I own the movie, but I haven't watched it simply because I'm scared that it's going to suck. So I haven't gotten the courage to watch it.
The movie's good. Like,
Okay.
I thought it was fine.
I have all the Funko Pops for it.
You're weird. You buy movies and you don't watch them because, oh no, you're a little afraid that it's not going to be identical to the books.
No. I'm afraid that it won't live up to the hype that I've built up in myself.
It was good. You should watch it.
All right, I'll watch it. Add it to the list of things for Charlie to watch.
There you go.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I do want to take a quick pause to thank all the amazing people that help Alter Confusion continue to be Alter Confusion. So I'm going to give you these beautiful, amazing friends of the show, and then I will tell you how you, my friend, can become a friend of the show as well.
Aren't we a friend of the show just by being here?
You could have, not only can you enjoy the show, but you can actually get a shout out during the show. So the first shout out goes to the Indie Cluster. The Indie Cluster is an organization of independent game developers that want to gain exposure by being involved in the community. They collectively journey to popular conferences as a traveling booth to help gain attention for their games. They make partnerships in local communities to bring games to the mainstream mindset. They highlight local, unusual, and rare concepts to help to challenge the paradigm of the common. They also host events to teach kids and minority groups about game development to hopefully one day enter the industry themselves. For more information, go to indiecluster.com.
Indie Cluster!
The next shout out we got to give is Noodle Boy Media. Founded in 2015 by Andrew Dren, Noodle Boy Media, previously White Kid 47 Media, is your choice for professional photo shoots and panel recordings at conventions. They pride themselves in providing a high level of professionalism, top-notch experiences, and quality services. If you want more information and to view their full list of services, check out facebook.com/noodleboymedia.
Noodle Boy Media!
The next shout out goes to someone who I actually need to call because I need some help. And that is Hero Chiropractic. Hero Chiropractic is a unique healthcare practice set up by Ryan Moore. The company's focus to elevate a patient's experience of freedom, creative expression, and joy. They believe that everyone can be a hero and has incredible heroic potential inside themselves waiting to be unleashed. Hero Chiropractic focuses on mobile chiropractic care in the greater Atlanta area. They are committed to healing clients by creating a plan of action uniquely suited for each person. They make that plan of action as convenient and affordable as possible, and most importantly, suited to your individual needs. For more information, go to herochiropractic.com. Now, the next shout out we have to give is to the amazing maestro who helped us in a jam that we didn't foresee ourselves falling into when it came to non-copyrighted music suddenly becoming copyrighted. And that, of course, is Crosspad Creative. Need a new logo or want to work on a full branding and content strategy? Or maybe you need music or audio for your content. Just like Alter Confusion, Crosspad Creative offers a whole host of solutions for individuals and small businesses. Just email Josh at crosspadcreative@gmail.com and see what he can do for you. Now the final shout out we got to give is to probably our longest supporting patron, and that of course is Agile Axiom. By day, Axe leads both a development team and a system administration team working on satellites at NASA's Goddard campus. But while not in meetings and many times during, he is the Agile evangelist Agile Axe, championing the philosophy of Agile and trying to make the world a better place for software developers, testers, system admins, and software projects the world over. Decades of experience in software development and leading Agile teams are brought to bear against evil processes, inefficient work, and bad habits. For more information, go to agileaxiom.com. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know that you are on the edge of your seat. You have to know, how do I get to be a friend of the show and get a shout out during every single Thursday night hangout? Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am happy to tell you that Ultra Confusion survives on the love and support of fans like you. And so we have a Patreon page. Patreon lets you, the fans, lovers, haters, demigods, interdimensional beings, gods, demons, alien supporters, and many more to become active participants in the work we love through a monthly membership. This gives you access to exclusive content, community, and insight into our creative process. In exchange, we gain a bit more freedom to do our best work and the stability we need to build an even stronger creative career. Currently, we have 2 levels. We have a $1 a month or $12 a year level, and that will get you access to the early access playthroughs that get posted once a month at this current time, and also patron-only posts that will help shape the future of Ultra Confusion. Now, I know you're feeling a little extra frisky, so there's a $5 level. That's $5 a month or $60 a year. And not only do you get everything at the $1 level, but you also gain the ability to become a friend of the show, and you will get a weekly shout out during every single Thursday night hangout. Either your organization or your name will be added to that thank you section every single week. So, ladies and gentlemen, become a patron today. Now, I know that it is already past, but there is still time, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to help donate to the amazing thing that we do every single year. Ladies and gentlemen, Ultra Confusion is proud to say that we have successfully fundraised for Extra Life for 11 straight years. Extra Life is gamers doing what they do best, game, to help sick and injured children at their chosen Children's Miracle Network hospital. The money we've raised through Extra Life goes directly to Children's Healthcare of Atlanta as unrestricted funds. This means that the hospital decides where and how to spend the money to ensure the dollars we raise make the biggest impact in the lives of the kids they treat. So if you have the capacity to donate, there's still time. Go to extra-life.org and search for Ultra Confusion. Now, I definitely need to update. I need to put a new slide. But, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I've been talking about this, and you may have already noticed this amazing hat that I'm wearing. But Ultra Confusion actually has some merchandise, and we are in the process of adding 2 more items. I just can't tell you what those 2 are right now. But currently, we have a vinyl sticker and this amazing Ultra Confusion hat, which is available if you go to alteredconfusion.tv/merch, I believe. Zealous, can you double check that real quick? I think it's merch. The suspense is killing us, ladies and gentlemen. Dun, dun, dun. It is merch. Haha, I am smart. I have brain cells today for this current moment in time. So, anyways, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be a patron, please go to patreon.com/ultraconfusion. If you want to help donate to Extra Life, go to extra-life.org, search for Ultra Confusion. And, of course, if you want some sweet Ultra Confusion merch, just go to ultraconfusion.tv/merch. That's MERCH. Let's move on to the next story. The next story is... Okay, here's the question. Are we ever going to truly have a successful cloud gaming platform? Or are we going to have all these juggernauts jump in there going, we're going to have something for a couple of years, and then we're going to shut it down? As many of you know, Google Stadia has gone. And now there are starting to be signs that Amazon's Luna cloud gaming might be suffering the same fate, though it's not been confirmed. What is being confirmed is that Amazon is basically laying off employees across a variety of divisions, including Luna Cloud Gaming. According to some reports, Amazon is aiming to axe 10,000 jobs, and they've already started the process.
Damn.
Now, some people may point to the simple fact is that the new head of Amazon, who I believe Andy Jassy, has not instilled the confidence of a Jeff Bezos, and apparently $1.9 trillion in market cap has already evaporated since Jassy has taken over.
Oh, poor Amazon. What will they ever do?
I don't know, do more Black Friday specials?
Every day is now Black Friday special.
Yes. Ha-ha. And Amazon Prime prices will increase. Anyway, so, the cloud gaming stuff, in my mind, is basically on par with the VR gaming thing. It's a cool idea, and it should work, but it's still not there.
Well, I think the first real step that we're already partly to, for the most part, is the hybrid, meaning always online games. So, for instance, like any basically FPS or MMO game, you're basically playing that game online. I know you have the local client, and then you have the server that you're playing on. So you already kind of have this hybrid model in a way that's been going on for years already. I think what it'll really take eventually, honestly, is remember one of the big rumors when I think it was the Xbox specifically, when like the current gen Xbox was coming out, was that it was basically going to be an online streaming device. I don't remember, but that was at the time. There were speculations because of the patents they were filing that would be, and there was this whole like crazy like cloud computing nexus thing that was going on with it. And that was like the big rumor is like you would basically leverage all the other Xboxes to use your computing power for your own Xbox. Didn't happen, obviously. It's just a normal Xbox. But ultimately, I think that's what's going to take is basically one of the consoles to successfully implement the online gaming in the way of the Luna or the Stadia, wherever we're going to call it. I think that's where it's going to come from. And I don't think it's going to be in the, you know, PS6 version whenever that comes out. Uh, but I think eventually it's going to happen. And ultimately, it comes down to money. There's going to come a tipping point where economically it makes more sense from a publisher and developer perspective to stream the games than to have the end users download it. And that's ultimately what it's going to come down to is where does it make more economic sense for that to be the case? Who knows when that's going to be? Because I think that'll also lower eventually. Because remember, the whole other benefit when they were speculating about the Xbox was it was also going to require much less computational power from the hardware itself. So all of a sudden, both Sony and Microsoft would be able to save production costs on this device, which is typically actually a loss leader. Like they're not actually making money off that hardware. So I think that's where it's going to come from is at what point is it going to make these big companies money is really where that tipping point is going to come. Is that 10 or 20 years? I don't know. But at some point, it will happen. And I think it's not just that, like everything's going to be basically a virtual service of some sort. You also have to have something installed on your local device. Like there's really some client there, but I think you'll see more and more over time. Now, the other big hurdle, though, to be fair, as I know we talk about many times in the show, is U.S. data caps. And that is a pretty big hurdle that unfortunately is not going away anytime soon. So I don't know what the answer to that is, other than our bloody, stupid politicians doing something and get off their anti-competitive asses about it.
They need to remove the law that states that an outside company cannot impede upon an existing services footprint when it comes to telecommunication. But the telecommunication companies pay people too much for that to happen. But to be in true honesty, I think that to make streaming or to create the god of streaming, game streaming, cloud gaming, all that stuff, it's going to have to take a partnership from one of the big companies, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, probably not Nintendo. So Microsoft or Sony or some magical or Amazon or Google or something to do a partnership with an ISP, which of course that would create a hell of a monopoly, now wouldn't it? Because not only can you have your amazing download and upload speeds, but also if you're with this service, your cloud gaming does not affect your data cap.
Well, let's be real though. If an ISP can own a streaming service and a media company,
yeah. Hello, Comcast.
Yeah, so if that's already a reality, which I don't think it should be allowed, but it already is a reality, to your point, that is, unfortunately, for the consumer, probably the next logical step in that regard.
Yeah.
I do think, the fact that you've had both Amazon and I'm assuming Amazon stepping back from it based on this article and the Stadia failing, but it's still going to be a ways off. Like, it's not something that's like right around the corner.
Well, I mean, the thing is, in order for the reason why VR or any, I'm going to basically just categorize cloud gaming as a third-party peripheral, okay? Just so that I can make it go faster. The reason why these third-party peripherals do not truly catch on and become integral parts of the gaming that we see today is that there isn't that one, must-have title, or there isn't that one company that truly throws their entire weight behind that third-party peripheral. That's what will stop VR or from becoming mainstream. But I can have meetings. I've seen so many of those, virtual meeting sound sessions going on. Yeah, that's just Meta trying to make money.
Nobody actually
no.
wants that.
First of all, the infrastructure to actually make that work would be insane. Second of all, on a large scale, I mean, yeah, if you and your buddy want to have a virtual meeting in Meta, and you both have a VR headset and have, comparable hardware that can truly support it, then yeah, by all means, have your meetings that way. But that's not mainstream. That's it.
Like the company I work for, we're 100% remote.
Yeah.
And we're like 3,000 employees. So that would also then require the company to send all of us this not cheap hardware. And all of a sudden, you're going to have to be telling, like, think about like you and I, like, we're tech savvy, probably the people watching this. Now, all of a sudden, you're going to be telling, like, basically the equivalent of our moms, oh, here's your VR kit. Now you have to hook this up to your, laptop or PC or whatever. Like, no.
Yeah, no. Yeah.
The motion sickness issue is still real.
Yes. Yeah.
Although I'm not going to lie, I want the PS5 VR too.
I think there's quite a few people out there that would agree with you, Zelius.
If I get the pre-register, I'm actually buying it.
Yes. Then you'll have to tell me about it.
I'll say though, that's another not instrument thing. So right now, you get a console or a PC, right? Mm-hmm. And I think there's a money sink bias, meaning for the PC, you have to buy a keyboard and mouse and you have to have a monitor, right?
Right.
And for your console, you have to have a, TV or monitor and then your gamepad, right?
Yep.
But now all of a sudden you're talking, I mean, I benefit. I have the disposable income where I could throw $600 down on a VR if I really wanted to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's more than the original price of any of the consoles.
Yep.
So there is absolutely a cost disincentive for VR, and the other big disincentive is, you buy your keyboard and mouse or monitor, they could last for literally decades, whereas the PSV version 1 is not compatible with the game. Like the game library for PSV 1 is not compatible with the PlayStation 5 VR 2. And that's the whole issue with the difference between like the Meta, the Oculus, and the PlayStation 5 and all these different systems.
HTC Vive.
The Vive, you have these different platforms, and we talked about this years ago. You're the one who always said, I mean, you've been saying this one for many years, where the lack of a common SDK is also a killer. And I'll fully admit, me buying a VR2 when I can get my hands on one, I'm on the fringe on that. Like, it's not going to be the common gamer who has that. And you are right. Until you have that common SDK, is absolutely an issue. Yeah. So yeah.
The other thing is, especially when it comes to gaming console, it's going to require more than just a game to truly jump in there. I mean, you would have to have like a library to kind of justify buying something that costs more than the system that you're actually playing the game on. I always jokingly and I jokingly say this, but at the same time, I believe that this would be this specific game would be a situation that if the developer, which I don't think they would ever do this, but if the developer were to make it VR only, you would see VR headsets fly off the shelves, and that, of course, is Half-Life 3. That's why I'm serious. I jokingly say that, but at the same time, seriously, if Half-Life 3 was VR only, holy shit, the amount of HTC Vives that would be like magically, flying off the shelves so that people could play this game. Yeah.
Skyrim 6.
Ooh. See, I would be slightly scared of playing Skyrim in VR. That I think I would get motion sickness.
That you need the exploding helmet for. Oh, you've just been engulfed in
Oh!
flames by a dragon.
Oh
Your
shit!
head
You fell off your
is on
dragon.
fire.
You're laying on your head. Kaboom! Okay, well, you had a good run there, my friend. Good run. No, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
you know,
I think I was always more bullish on VR than you, but now I'm also, I think, much more of a skeptic because it's a extra peripheral, which is not necessary for gaming as we know it.
mhm.
And if anything, like the Nintendo Switch and the Steam Deck have further deviated from the idea of VR.
Yep.
They've like made it more mobile in that regard.
Yep.
So it is interesting where it's like, 5 years ago, the whole idea was like VR is going to take off. And now it's kind of like, maybe it's always just going to be a niche thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, the only time will tell. But to be honest with you, you could say that phrase to anything. Only time will tell. Well, no shit, Sherlock. It's either going to fail or it's going to succeed. When is it going to fail? Maybe tomorrow. When is it going to succeed? 10 years? I don't know. Okay.
Does the Xbox even have a VR kit?
No.
Okay.
I think they put more of their focus on having the cross-platform from Xbox to PC.
Yeah.
Or sorry, Windows machines. Don't want anyone to get confused here. Okay, so the next bit of news that came in, which is very interesting, but at the same time, I don't know. I want this to be good. Ladies and gentlemen, a very popular arcade game from back in the day, Streets of Rage, is getting a film adaptation with help from the creator of John Wick and Lionsgate, sorry. Blech.
Was it a movie or TV show? Did it say?
Movie. It's a good movie. But from my understanding, the creator of John Wick, he's making an approach for it to have more than one movie.
Already out of the bat.
Yeah.
See, I think it seems to me like this is something that'd be a perfect studio for like a 6 to 8 episode TV series per season type of thing, where it can have like, one or two badass action sequences per an episode, kind of like Into the Badlands, where you're like, I don't know if you've ever Into the Badlands, but like you actually have like, it was actually a pretty good story, to be honest.
To begin with, yes.
Phenomenal acting. The
Baron,
the head of the family, the Baron. He's one of my favorite characters of any show, because of his acting. But you would then have, the one or two crazy awesome action sequences per a episode, but then you actually had a really good story and acting to go with that. And it's different because now you can be very. I'm gonna be honest. I have no idea what's out in the theaters anymore. Zero. I know it's coming out on streaming devices. Like that's where I'm in it, but that's where the demographic is going.
Yeah.
Where that's where people's visions are going is towards, the Hulus and the Netflixes, et cetera, et cetera. And it's no longer, going on a Saturday night and spending $60 at a movie theater for a couple tickets and popcorn and a soda. I could do that in my living room without having to deal with the quad next to me on a cell phone the whole time. So it's kind of like, it's interesting. So, I mean, I'm always up for another John Wick type of show.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, you also have to have a badass female in it because that Blaze is one of the main characters in the show. And furthermore, like, because it's really the three characters, it's Blaze, the black dude, and I think there's two brothers, if I remember right.
I'm trying to pull up the
but I think those are like the four main people you could choose from. Were those four characters. So is it like, are you gonna have like all four in this John Wickish type of atmosphere? Because
It's
really,
Adam, Axel, or Blaze,
yeah,
saving the city from being overtaken by the criminal syndicate led by Mr. X.
so are you gonna have like all three in it at all times? Um, I mean, because John Wick is obviously Keanu Reeves, John Wick. You've had the side characters,
Yep.
but like in the grand scheme of things, it's really John Wick who made it happen.
Yeah.
So that's I'd be kind of curious to see
Who
how
takes
it
center
goes.
stage?
What's that?
Who
Yeah,
takes center stage and who basically gets some spotlight on occasion?
yeah. I mean, I think you probably have to have at least Blaze and a guy, like as kind of your main protagonist. Um, so
The
that should be
question
hey,
is now for those out there who we're explaining this to you. For those of you who were born after basically, because these games all came out like early '90s. So if you're like the 2000 babies, um, you may have heard may have heard of it when it came out on the 3DS back in 2013. I didn't know that, but Streets of Rage apparently came out on the 3DS. Which, oh my God, just thinking about that gives me a headache because to hold a 3DS exactly like that and then have to button mash so that you could do a total of 40 moves, such as headbutts, back slams, and reverse kicks.
it is a lot of button mashing.
Yes, it is. But that's what the good old fighters of back in the day did.
The good old mash 'em ups, beat 'em
Yeah.
ups, side scrollers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, they're side scrollers. I mean, you traverse across this from one side of the screen to the other. The original Streets of Rage was 8 levels long, and of course, you got to. Oh boy, here we go again. I apologize if anyone's looking at the chat. We've been streaming for just long enough for the bots to find us.
Oh,
So we just lost. So if you're watching the video and you don't actually see the chat, you're not on Twitch or on like Facebook or something else, the chat window just disappeared because I had to. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's right. I forgot. Facebook likes to resubmit their posts, but Twitch does not. It is for some reason you hit a certain amount of time on while you're streaming on YouTube, and the porn site bots come attack. Hooray!
fascinating.
Yes,
I did not know that.
I learned about it or started really getting to experience the joys of that during the extra live stream.
They really wanted to give you an extra life.
They wanted to give me an extra something. Okay. So, so we'll see. I mean, it's been announced there's going to be a Streets of Rage movie. God only knows when it's actually going to come out. But could be cool or could be absolutely terrible. But in
I mean,
my mind, getting video games into, video game stories onto a different media, I'm okay with that. I mean, as long as this man was able, I don't know how, but he was able to get every single effing movie he wanted to be based on a video game over to the movies, U-Bowl, but we don't need any more U-Bowl.
nope. I mean, if it's like John Wick or it's just like beat you up in the face action, then cool.
Yeah, I think I can.
I mean, that's what the beat 'em ups were. It was like there wasn't a whole lot of story. It was just button mashing.
All right, the next bit of news is the fact that if either you live in China or you have a friend who lives in China, unfortunately, I believe, I don't know if it's immediate. Oh no, it will be starting January 23rd of 2023. Blizzard, all of Blizzard's games will no longer be accessible in China. Blizzard has not been able to reach an agreement with their licensing distributor, NetEase, So yeah, there will not be Blizzard Gate unless something changes, which could happen. But at this time, China will be losing um, all of their Blizzard library, which is yet another reason why on having all your games in the cloud can suck, because your distributor could decide to have a pissing match with the owner of the content, and then that content is no longer available even though you paid for it or whatever. Sup.
Yeah. It's funny because I remember like in the past, like Blizzard and like World of Warcraft would like change the skeletons to like other sprites because of things that like the Chinese found offensive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's a huge because like no, let's be honest, no company wants to lose the Chinese market because that's so bloody large as far as money goes. So that's where it is kind of interesting that they were not able to reach this agreement because that has to affect their bottom line in some way.
Yeah. Uh, uh, we have a chatter who wanted to know if you were Walter White, and I said no, we can't afford him, so this is just our version, not the drug
No,
kingpin.
I'm the fake version. I'm the rent to Walter White.
Ironically, Zelius does have a bachelor's of science in chemistry and biology, but he doesn't use it that way.
But
As far as I know.
I also have hair.
For now.
Well, okay, touche.
Ha ha! No, but, I mean, this is, this is what's happening with Blizzard and NetEase. This, unfortunately, happens a lot in a lot of different industries. I mean, shit. What the hell are they called now? Bally Sports, I believe, is what they're called. It used to be Fox Sports South and all the regional Fox Sports. You can't watch any of their programs on like basically any streaming service. You can't do it on YouTube TV. You can't do it on Hulu. I don't know if you could do it on AT&T Uverse, or maybe I don't know if you could do it on satellite either. I think Comcast might be the only ones who could do it, or maybe Comcast doesn't have it and it's only on satellite. It's a crazy ass bullshit. What's the distributor and the the content providers start butting heads? Oh, buddy, it could be nasty, and it's not. It might very well not be a quick fix. I mean, hell, I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a huge Atlanta Hawks fan. I have not been able to watch an Atlanta Hawks basketball game at my house in 4 years because I don't get the channel. Now, I have ESPN Plus, and if I was not in Atlanta, I would be able to watch the game. But because I am in Atlanta, it's the regional bullcrap that locks it into the regional affiliate.
I do have some good news for Blizzard players, though.
What's that?
Diablo Immortal will
Yes.
still be able to be played by Chinese players.
Because it would be through mobile networks, right? Instead of through the PC.
It's
that would
just
be a
because
different distribution.
it was just a separate, like, I guess whatever they had with Diablo Immortal was a separate agreement than the PC based games.
It wouldn't surprise me because you're basically filtering through a different network connection.
Who knows?
So if you have,
so what you're saying is we need World of Warcraft on our cell phones.
I'm surprised that hasn't happened, to be honest with you. After the Activision Blizzard merger, I'm surprised that's not happened. Sam said, if you have a smartphone or a PC, you have every sport on the planet for free. Come on now. Actually, a lot of the stream providers require you to lock in your location. And if you try to dick around with it a lot, it will lock you out of your account. Which I found out the hard way with YouTube TV when I had YouTube TV. Because I used to do I used to do VPN to try to be like, I'm in Des Moines, so I could watch the Hawks game. They're like, no, you're not. your account is supposed to be with Atlanta, so you're locked into Atlanta. I don't care where you are. They're getting smarter, damn it. You know, it's the same thing as the sharing the Netflix. Oh, and we lost Zelius. And Zelius is back. Hooray!
It's like my once a week leaving.
Yes, Zelius has to dramatically leave in the middle of the show and then come back and say, hello, look at me.
I'm back to keep on
keeping on.
In my free time on Ultra Confusion.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully for those gamers who are desperate for their Blizzard itch, maybe they find a quick agreement. Otherwise, sorry. Okay, the final story that I want to talk about, because we're almost out of time, but there is a nasty rumor that is circulating right now around Dungeons and Dragons. The upcoming Dungeons and Dragons called 1D&D. There is a rumor that's saying that they are basically going to stop the ability for individuals to legally publish homebrew content for this new rule set, which in my mind is the stupidest effing thing you could do. But, you know, it would not surprise me for someone thinking that from Wizards of the Coast thinking this is probably a brilliant idea. Because Wizards of the Coast, which I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they're owned by Hasbro, and Hasbro has already been in the news as of late saying that they're squeezing the shit out of Magic the Gathering to try to get to ink every single little penny.
Not surprising. It's kind of a situation like, you know, Magic and D&D and those games, like they were born, you know, maybe a little idealistic here, but they were really born out of love of the game and, you know, also being close to that source material as far as what do the gamers want. And when you start, you know, being purchased by larger companies like that, it all comes down to the almighty dollar. And where is the last cent of the monies to make our shareholders that $1 extra for, you know, the end of year or whatever. So it would not surprise me at all. And unfortunately, it'll probably be the type of situation that you see that it's not entirely uncommon where maybe short term, there's some extra gains, but long term, no. And I don't know why short term there would be extra gains, to be honest. Like, it's not like, I just don't see the benefit, honestly, of doing that. Like, because one of the things that makes D&D so popular is the ability to homebrew and share those homebrews and do that shit. I mean, think about it, like, if you look at like D&D, look for group games, they're typically not playing by a classical rule set. They're all some kind of homebrew. Now they're based in the D&D rule sets. So you still have to purchase all the D&D stuff in the first place, but then they're doing their homebrew on top of that. So it's not like you're filtering it for free or anything.
Right.
You still have to be invested into that ecosystem, but it's like, and I think that's where the people on top miss the whole point, where people are so invested, particularly in something like Dungeons and Dragons, where it really is truly a labor of love, where people spend tons of hours on these homebrew sets.
Got to buy a 20-sided die. That's what Sam Grizzle said. Go to any gamer convention, and you'll get a huge ass cup, and just scoop it into the bucket o' dice, and you will have probably a shit ton of 20s in there.
No, my guess is part of what this is born out of is they had this license for 3rd edition, which is in part what Pathfinder was born from.
Yep.
Was basically that. So it's probably the fear of that. But I would argue that all of the extra popularity of Dungeons and Dragons, because of the GPL, their open gaming platform license, outstrips the loss of gamers from Pathfinder. Because most likely people who play Pathfinder also play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
There's such a strong overlap between the two, or it's not like this magically mutually exclusive group between the two. Um, so it is interesting because fifth edition uses the open rule set. Um, so I'd be kind of curious to see where this goes.
An immense black market for D&D
Yeah.
homebrew.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, where I'm surprised they haven't tried tapping more is the online market, meaning because I know there's like online gaming sets
Yep.
that you can use, like higher grounds and stuff that you can use to play D&D online. I know that already exists, but I'm surprised that like there has not been a concerted effort from Wizards of the Coast / Hasbro
Yep.
to really come full circle with the online Dungeons and Dragons platform. Because anything I've seen from the online element is because you have like that dungeon master and players who are willing to kind of go through some hoops to make it happen.
Right.
So that's where I'm actually surprised is they have not fully embraced kind of online, like almost like an all-in-one, like, purchase, like download the Dungeons and Dragons on your iPhone, play, look for a group, and within 10 minutes, you'll have a group to play with. Like something like that. I'm surprised I don't hear anything about that.
Well, for me, I always saw, Dungeons and Dragons, you buy the books, and then you may buy like, one of the campaign guides or whatever to kind of start off, get your feet wet. And if you're really into it, that's when you started, maybe, mucking around in the home brews, because maybe there's a homebrew out there with your favorite, I don't know, nostalgic TV show or something. And that just allows you to get even further entrenched. But, I hope, once again, this is just a rumor. It's not been confirmed, though some people have said, yeah, there's sources that are saying, yeah, it's going to happen. But I understand. Companies want to make as much money as possible. But, this is Dungeons and Dragons is kind of, it started in your parents' basement where you're trying to be cool and you're wizards and dwarves and elves and giants and gnomes and all that stuff. And it's really the fan base that drives it. I understand that you got to make your money. But I don't know, to kind of like cut the fans off at the knees going, yeah, your content, illegal now.
Yeah, because that's where D&D is so unique, where it is like, let's just pick another game, like Ticket to Ride. Like anybody can pick up Ticket to Ride, and any group of 4 people can just kind of start playing it.
Yep.
But Dungeons and Dragons is something where you really have to have that person as dungeon master who's really invested in really creating a story in a game. Even if you have like, the guidebook on how to do the story.
Right, the campaign guide.
What's that?
The campaign guide.
Hey, thank you. Campaign guide.
Yep.
You still have to have that dungeon master who's going to invest what needs to be invested to make it a gaming experience for the rest of the party.
Right.
So that's what I said. Like, yeah, it's very different from the typical board game in that regard. Yeah. So I think most Dungeons and Dragons people would think it's a terrible, yeah, you say exactly right. It'd be cutting their own knees off to do it. And it's like, I don't even see where the shortcome, because most of wow, this is a terrible decision. It's because there's like short-term profit involved.
Right.
Because you cut your staff or, whatever it is. But in this case, I don't see even what the short-term benefit is of doing this. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just, there's, whatever. It's stupid. In my opinion, absolutely stupid if it's true. So,
yeah.
Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have unfortunately reached the end of our show. We will be off next week because it is the Turkey Day. Yes, it is the Turkey
What if
Day.
we live casted eating turkey?
Jeez, dude, I would be, was it tryptophan? I would be like half conscious with like maybe like half a turkey leg in the side. No, it's not. It would not be pretty.
Oh, what if you live cast your steamy? What do you do with the? Don't you do your
Oh, I
thing?
spoke a
There you go.
turkey every single year.
There you go.
It is this year will be an 18-pound bird, so it's a 9-hour smoke.
Nice.
Yep. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in to the Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. For myself, Charlie, and Zealous, it's been a pleasure giving you everything from our heads, our mouths, and of course, our hearts. We'll be back in 2 weeks for another amazing Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout.
Remember, kids, keep on eating turkey in the free world.
Gobble, gobble. Hooray! Ladies and gentlemen, we have successfully gone through another successful Ultra Confusion Thursday Night Hangout. A little bit of information. If you were thinking about becoming a patron of Ultra Confusion, the latest early access playthrough just got released to the patrons of Ultra Confusion Patreon. And that game is called Voodoo Detective. After a lengthy discussion with Zilios, I will be writing up the review for Voodoo Detective in the very near future. However, the playthrough is early access just for the patrons for, I guess, the next 30 days. Or until there's another playthrough. Though I might still just, I might actually try to save up some playthroughs. Because I've got quite a few games that I need to record. I just have not been in. I literally have not been in this office space all week. This is the first time. Yeah, this is the first time I've been down here since Sunday.
What?
Yeah, I work at when I had to actually go in the office every single day this week. So
not the office.
Yep, tomorrow will be the last day. Thankfully, it's not going to be as long as it has been. So
the dreaded vehicle to get to work.
Yes, but I will stress, ladies and gentlemen, this world is filled with amazing people of all shapes, sizes, and abilities. There are individuals who have certain disabilities, such as maybe they're blind or deaf, or they're colorblind, or they have some kind of cognitive learning thing. And I am a very huge advocate that if there's something available for one, there should be available for all, which is kind of that's part of my job. So I've been basically in watching webinars or attending webinars about accessibility in the corporate world and the educational world and all that stuff. So, but I am happy to see that there are more games out there that are at least bare minimum they're doing a better job with high contrast. So that individuals with low vision or have potential color blindness could still get the full oomph of a game. Because there's nothing quite like color coding and someone can't figure out what the hell that it's different than something else. So, yeah. Zis, what are you reading right now? Oh, you're rereading that book, right?
I'm reading Magician Apprentice. I mean, it's your very classical high fantasy story of a youth that becomes super powerful. And
oh my God, so original! Oh my God.
What?
I said, oh my God, so original.
I know, but that was like the stories. But it is kind of funny when I was like reading it and like when there's. Because we talked about this a little on the show in the past of like when they're describing like the elves and the dwarves.
Yep.
And it's like they should also be paying like royalties to the Tolkien estate. Because it's
everyone
like
should
literally
be
taken out. At least like some stories have like different races that they just like create.
Right.
And I would argue, I think there's an argument to be made that I agree with, that we only think of making these other races like Chewbacca because of Tolkien in the first place. Like that's what really made us use our imagination to create these other fantastical races. But I do find it interesting, like, because a lot of these, fantasy books from like, we'll say like the 70s, 80s, and 90s, they all used like the elves and dwarves. Like that was the prototype.
Yep.
They all used the Tolkien ones. And it was really like in the last couple of decades where authors started creating their own fantastical races.
Yep.
That were not straight up just, elves. But I like the variety. It's, some books have elves. Like this one works because, again, it's all, I think this one was published. When was this book actually published?
A while ago.
Oh, no, this one's had some love.
Yeah.
Feist has been around for a while. So the first publication was 1982.
There you go.
So, yeah, that's right in line with when, it was still very much the prototypical,
Tolkien.
elves and dwarves and your classical races. So it falls right in line with that.
Yeah.
Era.
No, for me, I'm trying to read a new series by an author that goes by the name of Robert Galbraith. It is the what is it called? The Cormac Strike series, or no, not Cormac, Cormoran Strike. Robert Galbraith, the author, doesn't actually exist. It is a pseudonym. The actual author is J.K. Rowling from Harry Potter. But it's an adult work, so she wanted to separate, kind of distance herself from it, so you wouldn't be like, another Harry Potter, because it ain't Harry Potter. There's no Muggles running around and mudbloods and Dementors and all that stuff. It's a detective, private investigator series. So
I actually just ordered what's the book called?
The Great Book of Amber.
No, it's another one that was recommended by a friend. The series is called The Scholomance. And basically it's like a dark version of Harry Potter, where like there's basically like no rule, like they're basically learning how to use magic, and there's like
who's the author?
Naomi Novik. She actually wrote a pretty popular
I love
series.
Naomi Novik.
Yeah, about dragons, Tamramore or something like that.
Yeah, no, what was her one-off? There was Uprooted is amazing.
Yeah, I was like surprised because my friend told me about this series. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. I'm like, wait, I recognize this author name from somewhere.
The Scholomance trilogy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Uprooted
actually,
and Spinning Silver also.
it was
phenomenal.
actually Kim recommended it to me.
Oh, well, there you go. Kim, the one who introduced Twilight Imperium to us.
Yes. Oh, gosh.
I still have nightmares.
She's the one who got me into all of the Sarah J. Maas books.
Well, there you go.
Which are actually, some are better than others, but the current one's actually really good, I think.
Sweet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to cut this short, but I do thank everyone for coming out, tuning into the show. I will be streaming. No, I won't be streaming Sunday night because I won't be home.
Where are you going to be Sunday? Are you running away?
I'm going to be, my aunt, Martine, is coming into town, so we'll be at my mom's. Nice. So I'll stream Tuesday night. Yeah, I'll stream Tuesday night. I'd probably be more Shadow of War, but or hell, I might throw a curveball and play something else. Who knows? But you won't know unless you tune in.
You'll never know.